All right, since we are recording, I'll go ahead and get started. Um, so this is just meant to be a quick intro to elections and surveys in iCrew, feature that's been out for beta right now. A couple clubs are already poking around on it. First thing to think about is that in knowing that club administrators in iCrew aren't necessarily the ones running an election, what you can do is create a team that is your elections committee. And this can be, you can have two separate teams also. You can have an elections committee and you might have a separate set of folks that run the surveys. So either way, you can create a team representing your committee and put people on that team that are members of the committee. And then when you go to your club profile, you can specify those two committees. And this will limit folks that can have administrative access to the elections and survey functionality. So here on the club profile, this was added recently. You have a drop-down list where you can select your elections committee, and in this case, a separate team is the surveys committee. So that's probably step one. If you don't do that, then the administrative functions for elections and surveys is open to all club admins. So just depending on how you run your club, I think most clubs will probably have an elections committee that they specify particular people. Okay, so let's just start off and let's create a new an election. Just we'll pretend an election's coming up. So right now, starting on the club homepage, you'll see this tile here, elections and surveys. That's your starting point. Just tap on that tile. Any existing elections and surveys will be listed here. They're grouped by current elections and surveys. Next group would be future surveys, so or elections. Perhaps you've got some that you're in the process of setting up, and then past elections and surveys will show at the bottom. So let's create a new election. Right now I've got a couple out here. I'm just going to call this the 2021 junior elections. I am going to be charging a nominal fee for using the elections and surveys feature. So based on the number of voters, and that's how many ballots or surveys you create, you can see the fee here. So anything like under 50 people that are voting, it's just a $5 fee, up to a maximum of 15. And that is not per voter. That is just the rate for that one election. So I've given it a name, junior elections. Let's just say the elections start on Monday, and we'll run them through December 4th. So this is the time when the voting will be available, starting on the 23rd all the way through the end of the December 4th. All right, so we've got the election created. Now we need to add positions and or questions. So mostly this is an election, so we add a position to the ballot. Let's say this is the junior, so let's say team captain is a position. People can only pick one from the list of choices, and this will be the first item on the ballot. And just click save. And now you can select members that are the candidates for this position. So we'll add Betsy Larson and Casey Clark and Kathy. All right, that's enough for that position. And then let's create another position. Let's just call this events coordinator. And again, just one selection here. This will be the second item on the ballot. If you did have a position such as members at large on your board, and maybe you have 4 members at large, you can set your maximum choices to 4, just so you know that. But we'll create this as another single, pick a couple people here to be candidates. And there we now have the 2 positions on the ballot. Let's also ask a question on this ballot. So the question will be just something random here. and they can just pick one choice. It's third on the ballot, and you have some stock answers: yes, no, true, false, a specific list, or a free form text. And this will be a free form text response. So we'll click save. And let's add one more question just so you see the list choices. What's your favorite color? And we'll go with a specific list: blue, green, yellow, red, and other. And now you've got your election created with 2 positions and 2 questions. Next thing would be to generate ballots. So here's a button to create your ballots. And here you've got access to all your team lists. So this is the junior elections. I'm going to pick the juniors team, select all members, and create ballots. So now ballots have been generated for all the team members, and they are shown here. You can delete specific ballots. You can delete all uncast ballots, but those ballots are now generated. So if I go back to the home page, you can see that the standings will be listed here for a committee member to see. Let me log off and log on as a club member, and I'm going to step through just filling out a ballot. So I'm logging on as Anne. She's not a junior member, but she is. She does have a ballot out here in the system. So I am working on ways to make access to the existing ballots a little quicker, but anybody can come to the home page and go to elections and surveys. Here, this is a current, just a club member, and this is representing that she has a ballot for the 2021 elections. She comes in here and makes her selections and casts her ballot. All right. That was the main things for an election. The survey is very, very simple and very much the same thing. It's you just give it a name. Let's do a set 2020 Masters survey. Again, a starting on date, an ending date, and this is when the surveys will be submitted. And then you just, all you'll have a choice of here is adding questions. Do you like rowing? Yes, no, true, false, a specific list, or a text response. If you have yes, no, and maybe want to throw something else in, you can say yes, no, maybe. And then you just build up your questions for the survey. All right, any questions on that?
I have just one clarification.
Mhm.
So when you select the starting and ending date of the election, that makes the ballot available to members between those dates,
Yes. Yep.
correct? Okay,
Yep.
and is that like
Exactly.
a midnight to midnight type of thing?
Yeah. So if you start on December 1st, it's 12:0 or so 1 or 12:01 a.m. of December 1st, and then through the end of the day on your ending date.
Okay, and I assume there's back-end functionality that only allows for one ballot per member.
Yep, that's
Okay.
all restricted by the system. And then just some additional things I'm working on for this would be things like notifying folks when a ballot's been generated for them. I do already have these things showing up on the calendar here, so you can see surveys and are showing up on both the sessions calendar and the reservations calendar.
And do we have access to this feature yet, or is that something
I
that's to
can
come?
turn it on for you. Yep. Right now it's I'm doing limited beta, so I'm just asking clubs who wants to play around with it, and if you let me know, I can just add LARC to the list of beta testers. And then somebody in your club as an administrator would probably want to, you can play around with it if you're an administrator, but as I said at the beginning, you may want to create a committees team. And Mary, you guys are already set up for the beta.
Great.
Let's see, San Diego runs its elections as a pre-selected slate of directors with the opportunity for floor vote candidates, which can occur at the time of the elections. Just thinking about this, votes are anonymous. By default, everything's anonymous. Start and end time be added to the start and end dates. Yeah, I could look at that if you want to like cut it off at like 1 p.m. on a certain day or only start it
Right, we have an annual general membership meeting.
Mhm.
The elections occur in that meeting.
Ah, okay.
They are decided in that meeting.
Okay, great. So start and end times. Yeah, I have some other thoughts too for future enhancements on this feature, such as a nominations period where people can submit names as nominees, and those nominees then have to either accept or reject the nomination, just to build up that slate. That's just something I was thinking might be useful, but it's not there right now.